I've never sat down with two people at the same time.
Really?
I feel like my eyes are going to cross.
Can you sit closer?
No, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm no longer a virgin.
There you go.
Keep this in. Keep it in.
Perfect.
So, okay. 2012, started in the business. 2017.
17.
This is exciting. Okay. Matt, first question. You started in the business. What was the main reason that you got involved in the business? I know it wasn't the people.
Just a softball. Well, the main reason I got in the business wasn't the people. You're right. It was because I'm an investor, first and foremost. And I worked with many agents, and I wasn't buying expensive properties. I was buying them, rehabbing them and renting them out. Well, guess what? There's not a lot of money in there for an agent. So long story short, if I want to see a house on a Tuesday, they'll put me off till Saturday. So the main reason I became an agent was I want to see houses. How do I do it? Become an agent. So I cut out the middleman, and I figured, hey, I buy a house here and there, I make a little bit of commission, great. So that's how I got into the business. From there, obviously helped family and friends.
Okay.
And it grew from there, but it was never a master plan of, I'm going to become a realtor that, does a decent amount of business. I had no intentions of doing that.
So it kind of sucked you in.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So if we go back, right, you went to high school around here.
Yes.
You have, it looks like, become extremely academic in your life. I'm curious, were you academic in high school or middle school or both?
Grade school.
Grade school.
Grade school.
Was it a who or a what? Like a mentor, or did it hit you? Like I decided at 12 to stop eating pretzels and chips because that's what I use as a leverage and anchor to finish my homework.
Yeah.
And start running outside because I was very overweight. This is real life. It was a sad life. I love you, man. You're awesome, both of you. So what was it? A mentor or what? And what grade?
So early on, I have a sister that's 2 years older than me. So essentially, I don't know if my dad was lazy or whatever. He would actually make up equations.
Wow.
Yeah, to do math. And I wanted one too. Little brother. Okay. So then I got good at math. So that was probably, to be fair, the start of it. In second grade, which is really random, because I was at the coffee station before this and ran into my second grade teacher. Not planned at all.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, she saw something in me too, and it was weird. They wanted to skip me a grade.
Okay.
And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So they just skipped me in math.
Interesting.
So I skipped a grade in math and then continued all the way through doing that. So that would probably be, if you want to pick something that I can remember that I think, hey, this is probably what.
And what age was that?
So what, second grade? 92.
7 or 8.
See, I know where I am. So, 9.
Maybe 9.
That's probably 9.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so your first math equation, you remember, was it, he did it with you, like personally?
Oh, I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember.
But you enjoyed it?
Absolutely.
Oh,
so my sister
cool.
did it. I actually enjoyed beating her. And she'll like
This
that.
is a realtor in the making. That's where we're going.
The competition.
No, well, it is, and it's competition.
And how old was she?
She's 2 years older.
Interesting. 11. Okay.
Yeah.
So you did math, and then now, no, this is fantastic.
9%.
Well, because, okay, when you see the equation, you look at the equation at the end and you kind of work your way backwards.
Oh, they were basic equations. Come on, we're second grade. It was addition, multiplication, some other things, maybe some division. So no, but if you want to go to a bigger problem.
Yeah. Well, you became an engineer, right?
Of course, yeah.
So maybe he was giving you like 8th grader homework and just didn't tell you.
Checking
You know what I'm
notes.
But
saying?
that was
You know
it.
what I'm
After
saying?
that, and I have kids of my own now, and one's 5.5, so I can kind of see that now. I think he just got lucky. He gave me a little bit of that, and I took it and ran with it. Never a kid where someone had to say, do your homework. And it wasn't just all academics. I did fairly well in sports, and it was always a balance. So that's where it's, kind of interesting. Because 8th grade, and I have a 20-year 8th grade reunion coming up.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Didn't know they did it.
Should run a
8th grade.
Ferrari.
Yeah.
It'd be cool.
That's what I'm going to do.
I'm still all friends with them. With Facebook, come on.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
knows everyone. It's like, oh, you'll be there? Okay, cool. But with that, there's a lot of people that may be jealous. And I don't want to say that, but it's weird because some of them I may not remember.
Got it. Yeah, of course.
But 8th grade's still kind of tight-knit. I don't know how big it was
If
for you.
people remember me from high school, I did it wrong because I was the kid with the black pants in the back.
Nice.
Hiding,
Nice.
you know what I'm saying? So that'd be an awkward thing. What about you? Did you guys know each other out of the womb? I feel
That's
a
what it
certain
seems like, right?
energy,
Yeah.
Now, he'll
Yeah.
tie in the Boeing part of it.
like kindred spirits kind of thing.
No, I grew up in State College, so I'm not a local, by definition. But Matt and I met each other, probably 2015, and the connection was Boeing. So Matt used to work there, I worked there, and we just got in touch. I wanted to invest like him, and I figured, who's the best person to buy an investment property with than another investor? So
That makes perfect sense. So you guys actually met each other at work.
Yeah.
And then you like water cooler talk
Well,
kind of thing, or was it
it
still?
got a little more complicated.
Okay.
Because we were just with last week, right? He set it up. We did a first-time home buyer program seminar at Boeing.
Right.
I did it 5 years previous.
Oh, that's exciting.
While I was still there. And I think you said he got the notes or the PowerPoint presentation from somebody because he wasn't there at my presentation.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
he got them. So he
still got them. So
he
word
kinda, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, like I never
and then
directly
you
met
reached
him.
out to Matt.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
Like, hey, what did that look like? Did you say, hey, I would like buy you coffee or like something like that?
Yeah, so almost, you said coffee station. I said, hey, I got your presentation about buying a house from one of my coworkers. Here's what I want to do. It sounds like you already do that. So can we meet up and talk real estate? And so yeah, we met at the coffee station I think the first time, and started looking at duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes.
Now, I'm in the personal development industry, right? Like that's what we do. We speak, we coach, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So the mentor-mentee ethos is common nature, common ground, but not necessarily in the corporate environment. Both you guys are collegiate guys in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you engineers. Is that correct?
Correct.
So was that your first time seeking out a mentor in a sense, metaphorically speaking there? Or has that been a habituation in your life? You looked, hey, can I stand on someone's shoulders to see farther?
Probably as far as non-corporate, absolutely the first time. Yeah.
Wow. Was it a who or what? Like, was it someone that told you they had a mentor that was like, hey, you should seek one out in some regard? Or was it like, this makes a lot of sense, like something occurred that gave you that idea? Because it seems like it was never in your thought pattern.
So I guess it started just as an agent-client relationship to
You
be
went to my
frank.
house.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So I didn't start directly saying, hey, I need a real estate mentor. But it certainly was something I had in the back of my mind that, he's an investor, I'm going to invest. So there's going to be some mentorship along the way.
So you were looking for someone to help you find that or acquire that goal, and then there was no relationship that blossomed.
Right.
What do you think is the most, revealing character trait of Matt that's drawn you to want to work with him?
Great question.
Besides the smile,
The most revealing character, yeah.
Magnanimous, I like it too, man. We're great.
It's funny to say it since we both have the engineering background, but the extroversion, Matt's very outgoing, and he doesn't take crap from anybody. He doesn't kind of follow the corporate mold where you got to stay in line and follow these.
He's not a zombie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, you're Uncle Wade.
I know, right?
Yeah. So sometimes he snaps me out of that where I'm thinking, oh, this is the way we have to do it. Not necessarily the case. This is the way other people do it, but there's a better way, or the consequences for doing it this other way aren't as troublesome as people make them out to be.
Wow,
So.
that's powerful. Okay, that not being at all normal or in the look at our
Probably
industrial
not normal.
complex.
Yeah.
It definitely.
okay.
Well, remember, it was Schopenhauer that said the talented person hits a target people can't hit, but the genius sees a target people can't see. So in an orderly ethos, as we have, Steve is the man. We have an industrial complex that conforms people in a sense in how they think. So what occurred? Was it something that occurred to make you think outside the box in that regard? Especially because you climbed the hierarchy of education pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So
Got
where does
lucky a
that
little
come
bit.
from?
Where's that?
Outside the box thinking, that.
Well, it wasn't always that way. So
Okay.
early on, it was always, hey, whatever you got to do to get good grades. And I tell people now that's not the right mentality.
Okay.
Especially how we learned, all of us here. You study for a test, you take it, there you go, you move on. Well, none of that is tangible moving forward. If you really don't understand what you learned and you can't apply it, what's the point of it?
Yeah.
He can attest to it. Same with engineering. You have to do certain things, but then when you're doing the work, it's not, I don't want to say it's not that complicated. It's a lot smaller what you got to do, and if you have to look up something, you can. So that was kind of...
Was it a specific
event
in your life? You're like, wow, I got to get above this frame.
Well, yes. So in college, freshman year, we did a workshop. Basically, come up with something, and even if it's not a good idea, follow through with the business plan. Try to market it, try to do this. We came up with snowboard bindings, a hybrid.
Wow.
And with that, I say that was something that kind of hit me because we're in college. No one in my group, per se, at Lehigh, had a lot of money. And we're like, wow, we could really sell this or do something with it. It'd be great. Well, we drug our feet.
Oh, okay.
And I was checking patents and things, but guess what? Burton, who's pretty big in snowboards, beat us to the patent.
Ooh.
So that was kind of the one thing where I'm like, if I just moved quicker, and I mean, it's a team thing. I was driving a lot of the team, but we had good team members. It's like something could have happened there. So that was something that kind of, you know, kicked me in the butt.
Before that occurred, did you have a different path you were thinking of going in academics, or did you stay on the same path? It just kind of hit you later.
Engineering. I always
You were
liked
thinking
doing
of
that.
engineering?
Yeah, I did. And then remember, that's what you learn, and you see things that are really cool being made. But then when you get into the corporate world, it's like, okay, well, you're going to do this little area, and that's you. And that never worked for me.
Interesting.
It didn't. So I always tried to not bend the rules, but do things differently. If somebody says, hey, you got to do this, well, why? And I forget, it's in a lot of books, and you hear it in a lot of places. Well, when you get a new job, whatever it is they say to do, don't do all of it. And then, you know, if no one says something in 2-3 weeks, then whatever that report was or something, it's not important. I always had that mentality.
Wow.
And same thing with cramming a lot into a small schedule. I'd get a lot of things done. Same thing with college, same thing with high school. So it was going back there too, where I was on academic quiz bowl, whatever you want to call it, back then, and you had to study. I was already doing my work, and I was already doing sports. So I did enough, you know, to get by and, you know, learn quickly, but I never went crazy with that because there was no, like, real return on it.
Interesting.
So kind of a lot of that prioritizing things and figuring things out, even with something as simple, you know, as real estate, there's certain things that, you know, okay, if something comes up, you take care of it. But for the bulk of it, that's kind of how I operate.
Interesting.
So a little different mindset.
Do you believe that that has helped you be successful in the business?
Absolutely.
What was the first year like?
In business?
Yeah.
So a lot of it was...
And you were still at Boeing, correct?
I was still at
Boeing?
Yes. I was at Boeing until 2014.
Okay, so from 2012 to 2014, you were at Boeing.
Well,
and
we're going
real
back to
estate.
2008 is when I joined Boeing.
Got it.
So I was there.
8 to 12.
Yep.
6 years. Started in real estate, or at least got a license.
Yes.
Or because you had already been investing for how long?
Well,
was
so
like-
I bought my first house in 2007. I bought a big house, 5 bedrooms, and then
That you
basically
lived in?
rented out rooms.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and that's
It's
how
like
we have a
the
lot
first
of things in common.
Airbnb kind of deal here.
Of course, before Airbnb was Airbnb.
Almost like a snowboard binding.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
He could have patented
Yo, you
Airbnb.
might be like, we met for a reason.
Wow.
We're going to build the next Apple here.
Well, you say that, and we go, so 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, gift cards, completely different topic. Gift cards are a big deal. People get them for birthdays, holidays, certain things. Well, guess what? The kid doesn't want this gift card. It's a $100 gift card to Best Buy.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Now you can do it, but back in the time, you couldn't. It was through Craigslist. You could take that and sell it for $70 cash.
Okay.
Well, I did a lot of my own renovations. So I was always looking at ways to cut costs. So what I did was essentially go on Craigslist and then meet and validate people at Home Depot and buy a credit card. And around that time, some systems were starting to get put in place to make it easier to do. I was like, well, I want to do this. And my wife was like, there's probably not a lot of money in that. Well, some of them, just if I followed up, you could have made $1 million right there. And that's the kicker where I am not going to do real estate, you know, in the business, you know, the way I do it now for, you know, 5, 10, 15 years down the road. I want to have my hands in it.
Yeah.
But I do like creative things. I want to do other things that are like, wow, that's pretty cool. And take a team, because it's not just on me, and I learned that, and run with it.
Yeah.
That's fun for me. So that's where it's like, you know, a lot of this ties together. But
Yeah, you guys are brilliant, man. I'll tell you straight up. Very
Thanks.
brilliant, yeah. So this thing, when people are, no one wants to tell them. But I'll tell you. So, okay, that idea, chaos, would you consider yourself order? That's a compliment for me.
Definitely.
Order.
Oh,
Yes.
definitely.
Great partnership.
Checks and
CEO,
balances.
COO kind of deal here. How has when did you start drinking? I'm just kidding. No, seriously though. We bonded my best friend.
Right here.
Definitely orderly. Yeah, coffee, right?
Yeah.
What's in it? No. So I got a great. You ever heard of Stateside vodka? Good friends of mine. I'm
Okay,
just kidding. I don't
perfect.
drink. If I drank, it would be Stateside.
Logo.
So
right here.
orderly. How has that helped that relationship for the last? It's been a year and a half. Was it
Essentially,
a year and a
yeah.
half? Essentially. How has that helped in how you guys have been communicating? Because I could imagine that's from all of the interviews that I've done and business development. It's usually a really good mix for someone that's thinking that nature and someone that's helping make sure it actually happens and so on.
Yeah, so it's true. I mean, Matt and I really do balance each other and also kind of open up the dark side of each other's brain where, you know, I have all these ideas that I'm throwing at him and, you know, we need to get organized. We need to incorporate all these systems and processes, and we need to follow these rules and guidelines. And if it makes sense to Matt, we explore it. But if it's me just thinking that we need to do this because we need to check a box, or we need to do the same administrative things that everybody else in our real estate office does, but it's not value added, Matt will quickly just trash that idea. And so I guess we kind of, like I said, open up the door number 2 in each other's minds on certain things. So, and then, I mean, it just forces me to think differently, think more creatively, and take actions where, maybe in a negotiation on a property, for example, I don't just have to look at the ABC that people normally do. There's an option A1 and A2, and you can be more creative and not follow the rigorous mold that people think, and still close a great deal or help a seller or help a buyer, and create a win-win for you, your client, and the other party even too.
So there's a ton of creativity in real estate.
Yeah.
And I don't think, and I say it a lot, he knows this, not many people grow up unless they have real estate in their family, like, I want to become a realtor.
Right.
Most people are, a second job, they're doing it part-time, something didn't work out for them, and they kind of fall into it. And they take whatever skill set they have, and they go forward with it. Well, if you really take a step back, and he's helped me do that, and really plan for a team where I can go on vacation. And if I'm gone for 2 or 3 weeks, everything still runs. Plenty of teams do that.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me because typically I'm running everything. So that's kind of where, obviously important, but even the creativity, I feel like, my clients aren't going to get the best deal. I'm not there helping them. So that's something where, I mean, we talk multiple times each day, and it just helps. So this has helped me a lot too.
A week before you went full time, what's in your head?
A lot of crazy stuff. So a week before I went full time, I was exiting Boeing. My son was, 1.5. My wife was pregnant, so a lot going on there. And
with yours?
My kids?
Yeah.
Wow. She was pregnant with your kids.
Woo! That was a good one. Yes, I believe so. She looks like me. Anyway.
Awesome. And you guys met in college?
Actually at Boeing. No, she still works at Boeing.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Cultural conversation. Let's just get into the deep.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, so
Crazy.
I apologize. Got me excited.
No. Where was I?
Pregnancy.
I wasn't. She was.
The week before you left Boeing, yeah.
The week before I left Boeing. So let's go the year before. I wasn't making a whole lot in real estate. I really wasn't. Now, to be fair, I was still safe. One, she has a job and has benefits, so I'm not too scared. Really not. But remember, you touched on this, academic my whole life. So where do I go from here? I was still looking at other jobs, checking other things out. And then I just reached, my dad was about to retire. I knew my uncle was going to retire. And I'm pretty close to him, both of them. We hang out a lot. John's been on house showings where
all the time.
They're bored and they just show up. Hey, what's up?
It's the four of us.
Walk around the house.
That's funny.
But my mind was, oh crap, I'm losing. He knows the numbers with overtime. I don't know, $120,000, $130,000 a year. How am I going to make that up?
Yeah.
And I was scared a little bit. But I'm like, I still have my investments, and I'm going to grow more. And that first month I was off, I had them in the pipeline. I had 3 deals for me to buy 3 houses.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I was scared. But I had no other money coming in. So I have a bank account, and it's just going down. And I'm still that way where it gets a little scary.
Yeah.
I just said, hey, I got them all. I thought 2 were going to fall out. I threw in crazy offers, and they accept them. So I got all 3.
Wow, that's exciting.
So then I worked on one in Prospect Park, literally.
Like a flip?
No time to think.
No,
I don't
buy
flip.
mold. Okay.
So it was not quite a duplex. I turned it into a duplex and did everything. I was there doing everything. Besides the roof and some of the electrical work, I was there. I lived there from, and she'll laugh, I went in some days at 3:30 a.m. Remember, young kid at home, she's pregnant, not always easy. And if I'm up, I just went. Even sometimes they're like, where are you? I'm here working. And so a little weird, but that's my mentality. I'll get it done. And as you get older, you can't always do that. But that's where I was a week before and pretty much the next couple months, those houses, and I added it up. So I owned them outright, put in my own money. The bank account went pretty low. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be fine. As long as I get good tenants.
So those houses were cash flowing for you, and that kept you going to then go and do the residential sales?
Oh, correct, yeah. So I made a decent amount.
That was your thought process.
Always my thought process. That's why I still haven't sold a single one of my properties.
You don't have to pay the credit cards. They'll just keep calling.
Right? Yeah. Well,
I'm just Carnegie did it. I'm not talking about
Hey.
Carnegie. He built the first bridge out of steel.
I worked for them
He didn't
before.
answer the call. They owed $1 million, man.
I worked for them before Boeing. I was at J.P. Morgan Chase.
Really?
And I was actually at call centers.
Wow.
Quick story where I see what's on their screen in Elgin, and it's like, oh yeah, this person owes $40,000, and they have a bottom line. Like, they'll take 9.
Yeah.
And then whatever they figure out, that call center person might get a bonus or something. I'm like, it's crazy. Just tell the person 9. Like, no, we want to make money.
Yeah.
So, to your point, yeah, just rack up the credit cards and don't pay. I can't do that. I don't owe
It's
anyone
not your
anything.
ethos.
I don't like having. I never bought a new car. I don't have real payments that I have to pay. So it's kind of weird. Sure, I have some mortgages on some properties, but most of them are owned outright. And yeah, if the market crashes, that's a good thing. But I don't want to be too.
We're just going to take that one clip.
Oh no! Don't
This
do
whole
that.
interview's over, and we're just going to run ads.
The market.
So the point is, your mindset is to make sure it seems like, hey, no matter what, we're foolproof, we're protected, our family's good, and we're going to keep moving forward. It's like you really. Geez, I wish my dad answered the phone. He would find me right now.
There you go.
You're doing a good job. Yeah, 3 kids.
He keeps 3 kids. He keeps me balanced though, because a lot of that is silly. I have money sitting in properties.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can do things with it.
Yes.
And I knew that, on the surface.
Leverage.
Of course, there's a lot of things I can do. So that's also something, when you reach a certain level, you're like, wow, you're safe, you're good. Yeah, but not that you need to, but if you do it, you can go a lot higher.
Just don't go to Vegas, man. I just was there. They're all done.
Tempting, yeah.
All on black. I just learned how to. I'd never get in my life. Never will.
Never will.
Only with culture.
Yeah, good.
Love that.
Good plug.
Yeah.
So, okay, wow, that's intriguing. Now, as far as the residential resale, is that a focus for your team now, or did that, or was that then, I guess, did it kind of fall in a naturally? Example,
Yes.
Some people just get into it and they're on the phone with for sale by owners, expired listings, they're just, I would get off on that. And you have such a nice voice. I feel like you could be on the phone, you ever see The Wolf of Wall Street? Give me 8.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that wasn't...
Oh, I avoided the phone.
Okay.
I don't now, but I literally avoided the phone. Everything text and email before. It is a little different now. But yes, residential sales, organically. I worked with friends.
Oh, sphere.
I worked with family. Obviously, I helped them out. One person was great. Ton of friends, Facebook, and Boeing people. I was there meeting at lunch. If someone messaged me or something, yeah, we can meet during lunch and talk to them. They liked having that person in there that they could work for.
Wow.
I mean, work with, and they knew they were a real person. No offense. You can't trust all realtors. Yeah, it's an interesting business.
It worked out.
It did. So that's how it grew. And then from there, just more and more and more.
Sometimes, what if companies had someone in there helping people buy houses? Maybe I'll do that with my
We
club.
tried.
Yeah.
We asked. We asked if we could be the relocation specialist, right?
Yeah.
Got shot down because they have some contract. But I've had friends go through it and get ripped off. Or get put in a place where, guess what? They're far from Boeing, and the agent's getting a bonus. Or more money or more kickback, and that's why they live there. I'm like, come on. So a little...
so in the beginning, it was a sphere of influence.
Of course.
You grew organically, and then from all your past clients, is it you just stayed in touch with them? Was that kind of your...
I did. Facebook is huge.
Okay.
I mean, this is a lot of giving back and forth, because we need systems to support a team.
Of course.
I'm going to be fine. Even if I don't do anything, no advertising, people are still going to call me and I'm going to be fine. But to support a team, that doesn't work.
It didn't really work out for King George III. There was something that's wrong with him and William Penn. They didn't communicate or something.
Didn't work.
How do you feel about that, John? Not King George.
Don't put me on the spot with history, man.
Give
me a break.
Not King
My phone's
George.
over there. I can't Google
Not
it.
King George. Yeah, right. As far as, being in the business,
Right.
doing what you do during the day as far as work, and then having the opportunity to build this extra income and to invest.
Right.
Number one, what's your most, most fun you get out of it? What draws you to it the most of all of the interactions? Besides all the lovely people and the long hours.
The wonderful people, the late nights,
Yeah.
the paperwork,
Yeah.
the entrepreneurial side of it. At the core, it's being able to impact my day-to-day life by working harder. You bust your ass at a corporate job, and you get a 3% raise next year.
Yeah.
Lucky.
You work hard, you pound the pavement in real estate, you help a lot of people, you're rewarded for that. You get more income. So that's what really kind of lights me on fire. And then the true reward is when you help somebody buy a great asset or their first home, and they love it, and they call you a week later and say, we just love the house. And when the first time it happened to me, I was like, wow, like I've actually impacted their entire life by helping them find this particular house. So I've made an imprint on their relationship, their every day by helping them. So it sounds kind of cliche, but it was just really rewarding to feel like I've impacted people.
That's powerful. Now, Lehigh, where did you go to school?
Penn State.
What was were you, example, like I played Montclair rugby, men's league.
Did you?
Like, yeah.
I played rugby too in high school.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's this all makes sense. I wasn't even planning to bring that up.
Yeah, good.
Wow. Okay, wait. Well, now I'm like,
Yep, let's do it.
What position?
I was the loose head prop.
Oh,
number
there
one.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started as a wing and then
Okay.
went in as I gained weight to like inside center.
Yeah.
And then I realized the only thing that I had value offered, like when I went out to try to get my future wife, was my looks, not my personality. So I had to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was afraid to.
You don't want to mess that up.
No, I
really?
lost my tooth dancing at a club. Not rugby.
Okay.
Yeah, so I stopped. Yeah, there's
Foul?
awkward. No, she just headbutted me.
Oh wow. She play rugby too? No.
Keep everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so that's amazing. Okay, so were you involved in the? Was it intramural? They have a.
It was a club. Yeah, club team.
Okay.
Not as much support as, the varsity football team.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were kind of like the Grizzly, like bastard sport of the school. You know what I mean?
It's rugby.
Yeah,
man. You
it was
play
cool.
with your team and then you drink with the competitors after.
Yeah, it was
That's so
good
cool.
good brotherhood, good camaraderie. Yeah, I played. I want to say all 4 years in high school, and then
Wow.
yeah,
That's so cool.
and then Penn State. I said same thing. Like I've got classes. I don't want to destroy my body. I'm gonna put rugby on the.
So you
the
didn't
back
play in
burner.
school, and then what drew you to college? This is a whole. I want to talk about
Sure.
school.
Sure.
You guys went. You succeeded at. You finished school.
Yeah.
Like you finished.
I have a diploma.
Who does?
Yeah.
I mean, they kicked me
I
out of
got
high school,
close
too.
and then I
was
gave
like,
up.
Kicked out of. I want to learn. What was that like?
Hey.
I'm
Nice.
speaking at them. I got to tell them something. I don't have any experience.
No.
So you went. Okay. Pros and cons of college.
Pros and cons. For me, it was good to kind of leave the nest of my parents. So I grew up in State College where I went to school. So it wasn't as much as maybe some people, but that first year living on campus rather than at home, it took me out of the really introverted, shy kind of, not nerdy by any means, but I was, I did well in school. I wasn't, like the head jock, dating the cheerleader. So it just helped me kind of break out of my shell. And I always had the passion for flying. Like I got my pilot's license at the end of high school, early college. And that's what really sparked the whole aviation thing. It wasn't always Penn State or aerospace, but for the longest time, I thought I was going to go in the military. Thought I was just going to enlist in the military.
Which one? I had an idea at one point, Air Force. I had an uncle that convinced me out of it.
For you? Yeah, so it started for me. I thought, wow, I want to be, in the Marines, badass. Those guys are just, I'm serious. It's just gung-ho, cigar out of the mouth kind of thing. And then
have you seen Dale Bilzerian?
Who?
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
I'm not going to show you. Are you married?
Not yet.
You won't want to get it after you see his Instagram, dude.
Okay.
He's living the life. Here we go. Yeah, all bad things. Nothing fulfilling. Anyway.
Okay. Cool.
Guns, women, all that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Marines. You have a similar beard, so I'm just like, if I look at a dad, I'll show you after.
I'll check it out, yeah. Back to, remind me of the question.
You guys are so fun.
School.
You have a
Pros
great
and cons,
alignment.
right?
Yeah.
Pros and cons.
It started-
You in line.
You
Pros
were
and
going to
cons.
go to the military, and then you
Yeah.
decided against it.
Yeah, so my dad said, hold up, more or less don't go get yourself blown up.
You tell the truth,
yeah.
too. Yeah, it's great.
You've done well in school, why not go, sure, you can do military, why not go to one of the service academies or, go the officer route where you take your education and your smarts, and put it to good use. So that was a pursuit for a while, didn't work out for me, and so I just said, next best thing, I'll study aerospace engineering and go to Penn State.
Wow.
So, and that's where I landed.
How much work is involved in getting a degree like that? And then do you believe that has helped your work ethic for real estate? Because 92% of people don't even make it within the first year and a half due to what most in the coaching industry would say, not keeping a schedule, not getting things done they have to get done. So, was it a lot of workload? Did it keep you grounded? And did it help with this real estate career?
I've never considered it, but I think absolutely. I mean, working a full day corporate and then you got stuff to do, you got clients to help, paperwork to send or receive. Same thing at school. I'd be in the computer lab until 10, 11 at night doing homework, doing assignments, prepping for exams. So I'm doing the same thing.
Wow.
But also I'm not doing aerodynamic stuff now. I'm doing I'm helping clients. I'm doing paperwork. I'm researching properties and prepping mail and all that stuff. So it's it correlates for sure. Just a totally different field, I guess. So.
Do you?
I would go the other route.
Oh,
I mean, yes, it's still good. So I had that in me, work ethic, all the way up. I mean, not a big school, but I was valedictorian in my high school.
Wow. Okay.
So a lot of that mentality carried through, and I thought I have to do good in college just to do good in college. Wrong mindset. I mean, I killed myself. A lot of work. I was playing baseball when I first got up there, stopped playing baseball, and really focused on my classes. Okay. Did some other fun things too, of course, but it wasn't worth it. I was motivated, middle class, I'll say, blue collar workers. Okay, they told us coming in the door, whoever's the top student in this program for here, forget what it was, gets like $800 or something. I was like, that's awesome. So I got a 4.0 my first time up there.
Wow.
And I really did work a lot though. And looking at it, it was all just motivated to get good grades, to follow the pattern of then you have a high GPA and some other things too. I did a co-op up there, I worked for Crayola, and you have a nice background, then you get a good job and then you're set. So that was my mindset, completely wrong. I'm teaching my kids differently. Even now, I mean, life is simple, a lot of parts of it, but it's about problems and solutions. When he cries or says something, because I'm only doing it with Antonio now, my oldest one, I'm like, well, what's the solution? And I do say that enough where it almost bothers me, but I think I'm drilling it in his head. There's not always just one way to go about it. And with college, yes, it was good to me. I went to Lehigh because it was actually the cheapest of all my options. And I was thinking of it financially, like, oh, if I have a small amount to pay back, I'm good. Well, that was silly. I mean, I could have went to some other decent schools. Not saying Lehigh's not, but that would have been the networking aspect. So if you're doing pros and cons, good networking college. There really was. Still really great friends with my roommate, who I remember the phone call that summer before we got to college. He's like, yo, I'm bringing a PlayStation. I was like, I don't have one. He's like, I'm bringing a TV. I was like, okay, cool. What else do we got to bring? All right, that was it. And then we met up there, and he played baseball too, and we were friends. Both of us can get along with a lot of people, but I didn't need that. I was still the one, if they were doing, a lot of crazy things, I got to get my work done. So I always got my work done. But a lot of that's not important anymore. Because fast forward, I did my MBA, Boeing paid for it, and I didn't want to be there. Also ties into real estate. Because a lot of stuff I already learned, at least, on a certain level, and guess what? I'm not going to take this out. I'm not going to do anything. So I sat in the back sometimes and did, Boeing work sometimes and other things because it wasn't like I was there to get a grade.
Wow.
It wasn't important to me anymore. I wanted to learn, and I'm somewhere on my own time. Let's make the most out of it.
Yeah.
And if we're not, we're just going through the motions. I did that part of my life.
Wow.
I did it, and I kind of regret some of it, but sure, it's part of who I am and got me to where I am. But I'm like, not anymore. So a lot of that ties into, how I look at things in real estate too. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to do certain things just to do it. So that one year when I was in my MBA program at Villanova, we went to Dubai. It was great. Boeing paid for it.
Wow.
Right? Big trip there. Well, next year we're like, we're going to go to Australia. So we did. And then I get a bill. I was like, what is this? I got a bill. And it was, I don't know, $8-9 grand, whatever it was, because, hey, this is outside the curriculum. So, all right, we paid it. And remember, my fiance at the time paid it too. And we're like, that was a big chunk. Whatever it was, 8 and 8, 16 grand. I was like, wait a minute. I had a master's degree at Lehigh, and some of the credits transferred. So here's someone going through Boeing, and whatever. Boeing has to pay for 35 credits for them to get their MBA. Well, you only had to pay 25 for me. So I just asked the question, wrote to HR, said, hey, listen, this could be a Hail Mary. You can simply say no, but something doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't, because, you're paying for us to go to grad school, and mine's cheaper to you. So is there anything you can do? Yes. They wrote back. I was like, seriously? Yeah, that makes total sense. So whatever the Lehigh credit hour was, they compensated for me. My next paycheck had 10 more grand in it.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So a lot of the
was that a big moment to you? Like, hey, you gotta, why not
you gotta ask.
You can ask.
You can ask. The worst thing you can say is no. Now, in real estate or anything in life, you don't want to go as far to piss someone off. You don't. And, you keep me somewhat under that. But I'm not that type of person. Sometimes it's just, to me, makes a lot of sense, and the other person may be thinking, you're crazy. I even thought that was crazy, asking HR, like, hey, how about you pay me some money? And they did.
Wow.
So it never hurts to ask.
Well, I'll give you a compliment. There's 2 men that I interviewed this year. Both have very similar minds to you. Both, like how you think. Engineer minds, neither engineers. Both of them asked. One did 90 deals his first 2 years, McCann.
Yeah.
The other owns MBS Highway, Barry. 16 mortgages in the first 3 weeks. Why?
Why?
Because he asked. But your guys' mind, they both think like entrepreneurs. I listen. They start at the end, and they go back. And that's not everybody.
Of course.
But you got to ask. And, like, I'm inspired right now. Yeah, it's exciting. I just had, like, a mental masturbation.
There you go.
No, seriously, it's
Nice.
fantastic.
Did you go all the way?
Yeah.
Well, now I know why you're friends and everything.
Hey, have some coffee.
Right now, you have 5 people on your team. Is that correct?
We're growing, and that's something he keeps me in line, because he didn't dial back. He came to me after he got his house. He had his real estate license the whole time, but you never hung it with a brokerage, right?
Yeah, I was 99% of the way there.
So it was crazy, but you were away in
Wow.
Seattle.
Yeah, so I was
So
traveling.
when he bought his house, I filmed him a video and took pictures. It was actually 2 of them. A triplex on the right that we missed out on, but the one on the left was available. So I even said, it's okay, here you go. He saw it.
Yeah.
And from afar, he entrusted me to go through it. And so I think we had a little connection after that.
Huh.
And he basically said, like, can we join a team? Can I join your team? And I was like, no, I work by myself. Corporate Boeing, I wanted no employees. I didn't want anything, but this is different. Yeah. This isn't a company saying, here's the people on your team. We get to pick and choose who's on the team.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of running with it, and he's got to hold me back because there's a lot of good part-time people, himself included,
Right.
where they're not ready to be full-time. They're just not. And the way the team structure works, it makes sense. So we're probably growing a little faster than we need to, and he's keeping it in check.
What's the number one quality that you look for in someone that would have an opportunity? Because people are going to see this.
Of course.
Millions and millions of people are going to see this.
I got a good answer.
Yeah, go.
Me first?
Yeah.
Hunger. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can train anybody to, read the contracts and understand it, but you can't inspire them to be hungry in the industry. And it's not a sales sharky kind of thing. It's you got to want to be there because there's long days, there's long nights, there's quote unquote hostile negotiations
And
where
deals fall through.
Yeah.
Long
I
days
had
that
it,
foster conflict.
There you go.
good.
Got
That
it.
was clever.
Yeah,
Got
exactly.
it. I'm done.
So yeah, that's
That was awesome.
It's all about me.
Yeah, it's all about me.
good to go. Wrap it up.
So hunger.
And the investing mentality. I
Okay.
like that.
Oh, interesting.
Because even at the Long and Foster event I was just at in Hershey, they had an investor present who worked for Long and Foster. And they asked to raise your hands. And remember, these are top agents in the whole company. How many of you people own rental properties? And just by a show of hands, I don't know, 30%, 20%, if that, that's bad. I mean, that's bad from my standpoint because you're in the business. You know what it is. If you buy a house, you get paid on your own house.
Yeah.
It's silly not to. Some people are just scared. I don't want to be a landlord. I don't want to do certain things. And it's just crazy because your foot's already in the door.
So what if
Do the
Long and
rest of it.
Foster had an investment division?
Technically,
It sounds like
right?
a,
Wasn't I?
it
Yeah,
sounds
we
like
are.
a binding of a snowboard or a gift card or something like that.
Honestly,
I see it.
that would be good, but let's not do that because then they might have other people. That's kind of what I use. He wanted someone hungry. I use that. He meets a lot of people in bigger pockets.
Yeah.
And that helps because I'm not out there doing that.
And you're looking to cultivate people that are interested in building real estate portfolios.
And not just that, it'll help people on the team. If I see a deal and I'm out, I'm the only one out typically all day long checking
Right.
things
Yeah.
out. I'll film a house. It may not make sense for me, but it may make sense for John. Or John may have a client.
Wow.
Same thing with Garrett, same thing with Dan, same thing with Rob. I mean, it's just like, what is it? You said it's not 1 + 1 = 2. When you do that, you can get to 3. Or you can even get higher.
Yeah.
And if you do that, that's where I took a step back, and he knows most of this, but throughout the years, like, geez, team's a good idea. And I've always been,
Wow.
even through school, I rely on myself.
So anyone looking to learn real estate, especially investment side, that's their end goal. They need to call you guys, for sure.
Hands down.
And if they're hungry, you'll meet with them. If they're
Yeah,
very
we'll go out for
full,
food.
They get out of here. But only if they're long and they fostered lots of conflict in their lives.
There you go.
So yeah.
I just want to add, I don't feel like we recruit people. We're not
No.
we're not looking to bring
I
warm
should, but I
bodies in.
don't.
Well, maybe I'm speaking for my side of the decision, but we want people to come to us that fit well with our personality. I mean, you don't want a house full of engineers that all overanalyze, but
Damn, he dropped the hammer. I like it.
you got to.
I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You got to have people that have complementary skills, but you also want to get along with your coworkers and build each other up.
And not be work. So that was a big thing we talked about. I do not want work. Obviously, a lot of this is work, but we'll go out, we'll hang out, we'll do things together, and that's great. Sorry, most jobs, you don't want to hang out with all your coworkers.
Right.
So we do this right, not to exclude anyone, but we want to be able to hang out with them. We do. And there's other teams, big teams around, they kind of do the same thing. It's nice. Because then even some of those long days, they don't seem that long. Or even if we're on a call late at night, yeah, I'm working, but it's not work. You know what I mean? It's a give and take.
Will you
What?
serve Kool-Aid?
Serve Kool-Aid now. Here you go.
2019.
Next year.
What is the Q1? What does that look like for you guys?
Oh, jeez. Well, I don't know if you want to start off sharing if you're going to do something full-time or not?
Yeah, so that's
It's
my
important to him.
that's my ultimate goal. So for everybody that's watching this from a Boeing company, hi there.
No, this will go right to the CEO. We're going to post it tomorrow.
I'm good friends with him.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we actually have rode bikes before.
How's the culture? No,
It's good. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah, it sounds like any company that would respond yes right away and say, "Hey, yeah, we got you." If you asked, sounds like they give a crap about their employees.
They do, but any big company, and I don't want to knock them down after you build them up. Any big company has problems, has issues in there, and you can't represent a company by a handful of people. But no, I mean their stock price has shot up since I left. Maybe who knows? But it's been. I think they're a good company. They really are.
Yeah.
But again,
So for me, like the biggest thing I'm driving to is becoming full-time in real estate, investing as an agent, just saying goodbye to the corporate world, pounding the pavement, entrepreneurial style every day, and helping Matt obviously with his massive workload of clients. And
exciting.
Yeah, so that's 2019, early 2019 for me, and then personally, and we always have to level set on goals is building the team, strong, educated, systems-driven, and starting to leverage positions where we're not the guys maybe running the paperwork or answering the phones 24/7, that sort of thing.
if you do it right, you really do, whatever you're really good at, focus most of your time on that. A lot of people focus on some of their weaknesses. If you can't bring them high enough up, it's not worth it. Focus on what you're good at. So with the team, and we do it right and we break it up, I mean, this has been done before, so this isn't, we're coming up with something that's a genius plan. That's what you do. And you make some shifts as you go along the way.
Let's say today someone extremely excited about what they had to hear from you guys, and they would love to be the, glue to hold that rocket. Here we go with a holding it rocket together. That wasn't even on purpose. whoa, culture. Got it. Would you be? What quality? Right. Character piece, and then what skill set would you be looking for someone to facilitate that role of helping create some order?
What do you think, Joe?
There's two answers in my mind. I mean, we like people like us, but I also think to round it out, we do need those really outgoing, almost wild. Yeah.
Well, we said that before.
We're all guys right now. Yeah, and that's not intentional.
It doesn't look good. It's just a bunch of dudes.
It's not intentional by any means.
No, it's not intentional. It's not. And we wouldn't discriminate anyone. But again, shame on me. I'm not out there actively recruiting. And we did a post a little bit on LinkedIn to try to get, but not anything, that is going to bring people in.
So what are you looking for then, from a character standpoint? You think same thing, or for that role?
No, certain things they still have to be. I mean, they have to be hard workers. They have to be creative if they can pull it off. Okay. And I mean, that's it. Willing to learn, because not everyone comes in here with some real estate knowledge. Yeah. But other people can transfer from another industry in here, and if they have some of the skill sets already, they are transferable. So that's what I would think would be good, and just willing to learn. Yeah. I mean, that's huge, because some people are not.
I have a question for you, John. Let's say that you had no entrepreneurial bug in you.
Sure.
Engineering, you enjoy that career? You have a passion for at least the building parts of all that?
Yeah.
You have no entrepreneurial interest at all, interested in 9 to 5 and all that, like that was your interest,
Right.
would you stay at Boeing?
Probably not.
Now, why? And I'm going to jump in there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either, because there was a part of me, doing a pretty basic job, engineering. I don't want to call it basic, but I knew what I was doing day in and day out. It wasn't hard. It wasn't enough for me. I wanted a challenge. So that's the part where I went down a path and got in special programs and did things. And it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. So if they give you really cool things and say you like to travel, yeah, there's a part of me, too, that thought you could have stayed. The problem is money. And yeah, you can work there and make a good amount of money. But when you get out of there and you do investing and you do real estate, or even something else, it's insane. I had a hard time looking at the people in the room when we were at Boeing, knowing, roughly what they make, and they're working 9 hours a day, give or take. It doesn't make sense once you see the other side of it. If you have someone, a parent or relative that can say, hey, listen, start your own business or do this. Yeah, a ton of risk, but the reward is huge, huge. And that's the part where I see it. It's like some of them wanted to invest, some of them didn't ask questions. If I could convey that better, where, you open up the books and it's like, oh my God, you can make this much. And again, someone could call me right now while we're on the phone. While we're here doing the interview, and there's a deal. It can just happen once you have the business in place, and there's $8,000, there's $12,000, there's $4,000. And people at work, typical jobs, they may bust their balls and add another 200 hours, 250 hours. They get a small bonus. To me, it's like, you're silly. And I was that person though. So I don't want to be mean to them.
That entrepreneur.
Yeah. Of course, but it's like, come on.
So the question though,
what?
If I didn't have an entrepreneurial bug,
Yeah,
would I? So
try to objectively look at the reason I asked is
tough,
because you went biking with the owner, so must have seen something in you.
Besides being
a
just
great
You
great
must have
cyclist.
seen something. I wouldn't go biking with the owner of a company that I loathe due to. Well,
Of course.
culture matters. Most companies, unfortunately, that's what I do. Don't have that alignment at all. Money aside, we actualize through our interdependence for being competent and then feeling respected. So, not money. So,
It's action. Go where the action is. So I think no entrepreneurial bug in me, it would get old quick still.
Yeah.
Just because there's the action or the compounding of action is not there.
So let's say that the model of the company was in relation to the more competent you were and the more problems you solved, your paycheck went up.
Of course. Would we like it? Oh, absolutely. I would have stayed there longer.
Okay.
Or different things in my head would have been activated and be like, oh, this is cool.
The reason I asked is because I'm starting to ask that question now because it gives opportunity to see the average business owner and people think, because I believe that companies will have to start doing that in 2020, 2030, because think about it, how else are they going to work in an entrepreneurial society of the world? It's like, how's it going to work? And it's interesting that you said that. It's like if it was the exact same company,
Right.
and you loved what you did, and you got an increase in financial compensation based on your ability to be a leader. It's like great people would,
Of course.
would there be any reason to leave? It's like they got to work on their business model, like all companies.
Honestly, probably not. I had certain things in my head, but if you take that out of there and then you get it where you're working, it'd make a big difference for you. What if someone said, hey, you did a great year and it's not, a 3% raise, here's $20,000. Or here's $30,000.
Or here's
that
a profit
your
share.
mindset.
Here's a profit share plus.
Well, they do that,
Right?
and most companies do that at higher levels.
Or
But if
just-
you bring it down to middle management and maybe lower, I think it would. A lot of people that are good people, but they're like, you know what? I don't want to be here. I can either make more money elsewhere or have a more fulfilling job. If you have that aspect of it, I think they would stay longer, at a minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps. I think at a certain point, it's not about the money.
Yeah.
Really, if you feel like there's a glass ceiling above your head, or maybe the speed of action is not there, where like I'm on a specific project and I have to be doing this and slowly progressing along, rather than
Jump.
Yeah,
Something new.
being
Yeah.
fast reacting and progressive and really kind of cutting edge, not only just like technology wise, but just cut all the useless meetings and the small talk and all that, and just really kind of open up the the opportunities.
Yeah, I feel like in the engineering space, you take big problems and you make them into small little steps.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a human that has conceptual predisposition to creatively abstract, and you're in a little compartmentalized, siloed box,
Right.
I would think you'd have an issue with that. You both seem pretty creative.
Thanks. But yes, most people I think would have an issue with that. Except the people and disc profile and different tests you can take for personality trait. Some people love that. I met people that just put on their music and they do their boring work and just knock it out and they're happy doing it though.
Common repetitive tasks.
We're all different.
I can't do that.
And until the robots are there, they got a job.
They got a job. You're right.
Hey, this was amazing. I want to give the final word to Matt and Rob.
He did it on purpose. I love it. I was waiting for that.
Final word. What should people know?
What should people know? Oh, in general, I mean, all this off the table. Do what you love in life. Don't be afraid to do things. And honestly, with that, take some risk. A lot of people won't do it. But again, if you don't do that, there's so much more to life that, hey, kids, I know a lot of things get in the way, but then it's just more rewarding. That's my take on it. And with this team, it's been great. Like I said, then I look at it a whole different way. It's not just Matt, it's, hey, we have a team now. And we work together and we balance each other out, and it makes sense. So that's kind of it. Just for people in general, even if it's part-time, look at passive income, look at other things you can do that generate some wealth, and it's not just all about that job. So.
Well said. I don't know.
What about you, Mark?
Mark?
Yeah, John. Final word.
Final word.
It's got to be a quote.
Yeah, it's got to be very cliche. Yeah. Do what others aren't doing now so you can live like other people aren't in the future, right? I butchered that. But
no, that was great. You did it.
Live like others aren't now.
Wait. Yeah.
This was extremely
It's a Dave
fun. This was
Ramsey
the
quote,
first, I believe this is the 90th conversation I get to have on video. And this was the first time I've ever had a conversation with two people at the same time.
You did all right.
How was it?
It's good. Yeah.
It's definitely
good
different.
energy.
Like,
Yeah.
my
More
eyes are
interactive, I
crossed.
think, right?
And I have to give it to you guys. The energy is really high, and I'm excited to build a friendship with you. This is the first time we met off the Matrix.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jay.
Appreciate it.
Seriously.
Yeah.